Vietnam veterans, and to all veterans, welcome home, and thank you for your service. I'd like you to take a moment, if you could, if you find it or if you haven't. There's a red flyer in your bag, and it talks about Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, which has been signed into law in California. It also has gone through the Senate nationally, and it's in the House now to make that actually a national day. 40 years later, but it still is. All right, the other part in here where some of the people may or may not be aware of, veterans now can salute the flag. Not the hand over the heart. You have earned the right to give a hand salute. You can do that in whatever dress you're in at this time. It also has been done to set you apart from the general public and let them know we're the ones who fought for the freedom that they enjoy today. So thank you all. At this time, I want to introduce the city treasurer, Dick Haley. Dick Haley has been a very huge supporter, along with a lot of the other members of the city, of this division and the memorial. All right, Dick is the city treasurer, but very importantly, he's a Vietnam veteran, Marine Corps. So he is a Marine. He was a crew chief on a medevac chopper. He was the guy that brought him to me. I was a medic. All right, so I want you to please put your hands together and welcome him. He gave us all.
Thank you very, very much. You know, this is quite a day. Quite a day, and I'm, dang, I didn't think this was going to happen in front of you yahoos, but it is, I'll tell you. Some of you guys are looking pretty old, though. Where'd you get all that white hair? That's what I'd like to know. God knows I don't have any. Mine's blonde from being at the beach. Veterans, welcome home.
Yeah.
Welcome home. I would like to have a contingent, a person who's the leader of the colors, to come over here and post the colors, please.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome home, veterans. My name is Angelo Corso, and I'm going to sing the national anthem for you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch with so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very, very much for that outstanding rendition of the national anthem. And gentlemen in uniform, thank you very, very much for your participation. And Chief Petty Officer, you scared the daylights out of me with that cadence. Sounded like 45 years ago at Paris Island. Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to introduce the Chief Executive Officer of the City of Corona, one of the finest mayors we have ever had, Mr. Stan Skipworth.
Let me correct Mr. Haley's comment. Perhaps maybe one of the finest mayors ever. Karen, okay? Also with me today, would you please welcome Councilwoman Karen Spiegel is here with us today as well. And Mr. Corso, if I may, I want to thank you very much. You reinforced why that song happens to be my favorite song. Thank you so much. It is my great pleasure as the mayor of the city of Corona to present a proclamation recognizing Welcome Back Home Vietnam Veterans Day. And just real quickly from an excerpt from this particular proclamation, we must pledge to never forget the outstanding strength, service, and sacrifice of those who fought to defend democracy, human dignity, and the right to self-determination. I want to also follow up on this particular regard. I flew back from North Carolina yesterday afternoon to be able to get back in time not only for this event, but to attend a function for my nephew who will be going off to Afghanistan in a little less than 2 weeks. And his particular assignment is punctuated by the fact that both of my parents served in World War II. And what bridges those two key events for me on a personal level is the service and the depth and the quality of service that the Vietnam veterans represent, not only through my growing up, but because of what we have learned as a nation and how we have given ourselves the opportunity to thank you more appropriately, and from this point forward, always more appropriately. So thank you all very much for that, and thank you very much for your service to our great nation. Thank you.
You're in for a treat. This is one of the finest mayors. Coincidentally, we have another, one of the best mayors the city has ever had, is Mrs. Karen Spiegel. Karen? As this lady joins me, I have to let all you vets know, if you go up and down 6th Street here in Corona, or up and down Main Street, you'll see a picture of my son and a lot of other sons and daughters of our Corona residents. Those banners were made possible not by city funds, not by private funds, but by a special fund that Mrs. Spiegel and Mr. Montanez had. It is her responsibility and also Eugene's responsibility. So when you see these banners, you think of Karen Spiegel, and then you're going to say, yeah, she really is one of the best mayors we've ever had. This lady is a true patriot. She certainly is. Mrs. Karen Spiegel.
You know, part of the responsibility we have as adults is to make sure that we pass on to our children memories history, and many other things. And something happens, whether our communication breaks down or what. My son attended a memorial veterans program at the cemetery, 10 years ago. And he took it upon himself because he heard a story. Once again, telling them stories, telling the history, that the Korean War vets here in Corona were mobilized out of our National Armory to go to Korea in 1950. We sent over our platoon, and they were promised to have a big display when they came back, and that the city was supporting them, and they came back and nothing was there for them. And as you know, the Korea War was known as the forgotten one. It happened, and then it was gone. And my son started this project 50 years after they came back to recognize them, and had a huge shindig at the Armory, and had legislatures and the congressmen and everybody come and kind of making up. Well, now the Vietnam veterans, which is the next major war, had some of the same things happen. But yet you as veterans, you as those that took upon yourselves to fight for our country, had much more than just forgotten. Many people fought you and hated you for being there. That they thought that war shouldn't be happening. And as I've always said, it's not about the war, it's about us. It's about thanking them for taking the responsibility and putting our freedoms at stake for their lives. And I thank each and every one of you for taking your life and putting it at risk for the things that we all take for granted today. Thank you. And we do. So it's not about all of us. It's about our kids, to make sure they're educated and to know about what you encountered, what you went through, your stories, your memories, your legacy. And so I'm very proud that our state and our country are now saying this was an important war that we need to recognize, and we need to make sure that future generations are aware. And so I'm proud to be part of this activities today, and thank you to Quality Toyota and Dallas and Larry Tuff to make this happen, because our veterans are our livelihood. They are what make us a country. It is the people. It's not the land. It is the people. And for what you stand for and what you're willing to risk. And I thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. That's pretty true. You know, we've got to forget the war, but never forget the warrior. One C story, okay? You get one, that's all. I went to a reunion, and one of the speakers mentioned that right now in Dubuque, Iowa, somebody's walking around because of one of you guys. And quite frankly, it was a team. It was a team effort. I don't care if you drove a truck in North Carolina, you edited a base newspaper in Texas, you worked up at the Arctic Circle in the Air Force monitoring Iceland. Thank you very much, Larry. Marine Corps, you know. But we were a team. We certainly were a team, and we're a lot of us are back. Not as many as should be, but we're a lot back. I'd like to introduce now one of the spearheading persons. Oh, before we do this, I have to let everybody know. With us today, right here with us, we have the Firefighter of the Year, Mr. Jim Steiner, Captain, Corona Fire Department. The thing that's way cool about Steiner is that he's one of the most honest, blunt, in-your-face guys, and if you've got a place where you live, give him your home address so he'll be there like right away, because he's a great firefighter and an asset to our Corona Fire Department. So Captain Steiner, thank you very much for your service, sir. Thank you. I'd like to introduce to you another patriot, Sergeant, United States Marine Corps, Larry Tuff.
Hey, I want to thank you all for coming here. I couldn't help over this last month while we were putting it together, thinking about what I was doing 40 years ago, 45 years ago, or whatever it was, and the reaction when I came home. I want to tell you just a brief story. My mom had a battle going on in her hands, because when I went to Vietnam, she put an American flag outside of her house, And she took it in every night, put it out every morning, and her neighbors wanted to take them down because they didn't want anybody in our neighborhood supporting that war. Well, needless to say, none of you knew my mother, but that flag did not come down till the day I came home, and she helped me take it down off her front door. So God bless her soul. Thank you, Mom. Anyway, the main reason I'm up here, I want to speak on behalf of our district attorney, Paul Zellerbach of Riverside County. He intended to be here this morning. He was looking forward to it. Unfortunately, he got what a lot of us have had or are you going to get, and he's not leaving the house, so he wanted me to come up and say, Vietnam vet, welcome home. All veterans, welcome home, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Larry. Hey, one other thing, I'm going to cover up my city treasurer shirt because I'm talking to Dick Haley, your buddy here. But the lot we're on is owned by Quality Toyota, Bud Gordon and Quality Toyota. So if we need a car, this is the place to go. He supports veterans. He supports the city. And we need the damn sales tax in Corona. So please spend your money here. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the day. There'll be motorcycles coming in about mid-afternoon. A bunch of other crazed Vietnam veterans, so watch out when they come. And if you just happen to see a guy or a lady with a veteran's insignia on them, give him a hug and welcome him home. Thank you very, very much.
All right, hey, ROTC guys and Boy Scouts, come over and get your voting slips. We need your help picking the winners today. So I got some slips for you. Let me put on a little Armed Forces music here as a part of that.